what we found is while protein is a macronutrient, it is a part of every food, not just meat and dairy. It is a part of every food. We have the building blocks of different proteins, amino acids, in all things, in leaves, in all of the vegetables. Everything that you eat has protein in it.
A lot of what I hear is conversations about protein. I would love for you to share a little bit about that.
There's so much nutrition mythology out there, and protein is one of those things. So number one, protein was the first macronutrient discovered. So macronutrients are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, right? So when we were looking under the microscope, not me, but some scientist was looking under the microscope and he discovered protein and he went, oh, I found what's in food that gives us our strength. This is what's in food, right? He thought he found the thing. So that created a lot of excitement. Protein, it must be really important. And there was a lot of industries that were very excited with that news. Egg, meat, dairy, they're like, we have protein. We have the most protein. Let's advertise how good protein is, right? So they thought this was this big deal. But then there were scientists who came along who thought this was true and started testing it. So for example, T. Colin Campbell, he wrote the China study. He was doing research at Cornell over 40 years ago. And he grew up in a meat and dairy farm. And his thought was, if I can make animals get bigger, more muscle, more protein, we can solve world hunger because protein is the key to life, right? He started doing experiments and he was testing mice. And what he found was whenever he tried to raise the protein, they were getting cancer. They were growing tumors all over their body. And he's like, this doesn't seem like it should be happening. And then when he started, and he was actually using milk protein. So not the fat, the protein, casein. And whenever he switched groups where he went high protein to low protein, he could turn the cancer on and off. Low protein, cancer stops growing. High protein, cancer starts growing. Low protein, cancer stops growing. And he went, this seems like it's bad. So T. Colin Campbell, he actually tried to bring his results and publish it, but back then the dairy industry lobbied against him. It's a very sad story, but he actually had to publish his own data like 40 years after the fact. And it became really popular. And it's a reason for a lot of plant-based doctors who read his research and went, wow, this is real stuff. Okay. So what we found is while protein is a macronutrient, it is a part of every food, not just meat and dairy. It is a part of every food. We have the building blocks of different proteins, amino acids, in all things, in leaves, in all of the vegetables. Everything that you eat has protein in it. And so your body can take those amino acids and it can build whatever protein it needs, even if you're getting it in plant form. When you're eating an animal, that animal, humans in general, we're kind of wimpy. So we only eat herbivores, right? You don't see like any humans who are on like a carnivore diet. They're eating mountain lions and, no, why? Because they will kick our ass, right? So humans started eating herbivores because they're gentle and trusting and they just let us farm them and kill them, right? It's kind of sad, but that's the fact, right? So these herbivores who have these big muscles full of protein, where are they getting their protein? From the grass that they're eating, right? From the vegetables and the grains and all the other stuff. The herbivores are actually the biggest animals on the land, right? The biggest animals on the land. You look at an elephant, right? The biggest animals we've got on the land walking around are herbivores. An elephant is much bigger than a mountain lion, right? They're bony. Their shoulder blades are all sticking out and stuff, right? So we have become brainwashed by industry and by some of the scientists who misunderstood it. And then the industries took over the advertising for it to think that we need to somehow eat an animal in order to get protein, which our body needs so much. But what we found is, and this has been proven in many studies, high protein diets lead to disease, cancer, heart disease, animal protein specifically. So loading up on protein actually is bad for your health. And two, protein is everywhere. I can tell you as a physician who worked in hospitals originally that I have never, ever seen someone become protein deficient from a diet. Ever. The only time someone's protein deficient is from a disease like kidney failure, because your kidneys are supposed to filter and keep your proteins in and just let the salts out. But if your kidneys are damaged, proteins can get through the damage and come out. That's why people with kidney failure have protein in their urine. So when people do my programs who have kidney failure, and I've published reversing end-stage kidney failure with diet alone, right? I'm really good at that. What I found is that people in kidney failure have low protein in their blood because they're losing it out of their urine. And when they eat more protein from animal sources, they lose, their kidneys fail faster because kidneys are sensitive to, and they've shown this even in non-fringe medicine, that anyone with kidney failure should be on a low protein diet. They should be on a no meat diet, but because it damages kidneys. So those people have low blood protein levels. We put them on a raw plant-based diet. They're eating greens and cruciferous vegetables all day, and their protein levels go up to normal. Why? Because why would your protein level go up eating broccoli? Because the problem is not how much you eat, it's how much you're losing from your body. So nobody has had any kind of protein deficiency. Protein levels usually go up when people are eating all of these vegetables because there's less damage to the kidneys, and high protein causes disease.